Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come. I have decided to make a change on the channel. It's been fun. I enjoy doing the commentary things where you just sit in front of a camera and talk about different books and stuff. But I am going to make a change. I am going to transition over to doing a little more vlog style. Probably going to be the new thing I do. My plan is to go to once a week delivering a video and do different challenges and vlogs. Have some top 10s. I just put out a top 10 last week, my top 10 indie authors. Really enjoy doing that. I've read a bunch of indie books. Ready to make a change. I just don't have a ton of time to set up and make a video and edit the video. And so these, hopefully I'll be a little ahead of schedule so I can stay ahead, get stuff read. Hopefully y'all enjoy. I'll be filming, as you can see, first video here. I'm in a hotel room because my job, I'm gone every other day. So I'll be filming some in the hotel room, filming some in my house. May even get some scenery. May do that where you can see the mountains and stuff because I drive in the mountains all day, back and forth, up and down the interstate, and it's been fun. I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed driving. I've been doing it for a long time, and I feel like the best way for me to do this channel is to do a little more vlogs so I can just tell you my thoughts as they go. I'm gonna have some, like I said, top 10 videos, gonna have some challenge videos. And speaking of challenges, this is gonna be my first one, and it's gonna be huge to say the least. Probably the hardest challenge that I've ever done. Might be the hardest challenge I ever do, but I'm going to attempt to read a 1,000-page book in 24 hours. How can I do that? I don't know, but I'm going to try. But this is not going to be a straight 24-hour challenge because as of right now, I just don't have the time to do that. And if you can read for 24 hours straight, you are amazing because I can't. But I'm going to keep track of my time, how long it takes me to do this, and try to get it done in under 24 hours if I even can. So, the book I will be reading in this 24-hour challenge of 1,000 pages is Stephen King's The Stand. Yes, this book is huge. Oh, and to top it off, this book is not even 1,000 pages. It's 1,150. So why do a challenge of 1,000 pages when I can just top it off with another 150? I mean, heck, what does it matter? When you're already hitting 1,000, what's another 150? What's another 10%, onto whatever you're reading already? I am very excited to read this book. I've heard incredible things about it. By what I understand, one of the best books of all time. I've read one Stephen King book, which was Billy Summers. It was great. Now I'm going back to one of his all-time classics and what a lot of people think is one of the best books of all time. I will be reading this book. I will be immersive reading this book. I will be audiobooking this book. We are going to try my absolute hardest to get this done in 24 hours. So without further ado, let's start The Stand. All right, we're back. I'm an hour in. I'll show that on the screen. A couple of things I forgot to mention. Don't have a camera, so I'm using my phone. So I will be recording my time. Another thing is I did the numbers. This book has 1,150 pages, as I said. So I've got to read roughly 48 pages an hour for 24 hours to get this done, or it's 78 chapters. So I have to do like right at 3.5 chapters, I think, an hour. Right now, after an hour, I'm on page, where am I? 51, which is the end of chapter 5. So I've finished 5 chapters so far. So I'm a little ahead of the game. And a few things that I've seen overall. All right. First off, in the prologue, you meet Sally, Charlie, and baby Levon. Looks like something has happened. I guess he works at like a military base. He's a military guy. And somehow this door was left open that he was playing cards with his buddies, and somehow a clock turns from green to red, and it's supposed to close. The door is, but it didn't. So they freaked out. He ran off, got out of, I guess, that place. And then whenever he did, everything locked down. He runs home, gets his wife, tells her to pack up her stuff. They're taking him and are taking, he is taking her and baby Levon out of there. Something's going down. And they end up escaping. They drive to this gas station in a couple other states down the road. They're in California. They drive to this gas station a few states over and ends up wrecking into gas pumps where there's a bunch of guys around. He falls out of the truck and basically dies there. I mean, he dies. His wife and daughter are dead in the car. I don't know. It's like crazy. And then you go to this other character, which is named Larry. Apparently, he is a musician who has got a pretty big hit song going up the charts. Ends up going on this crazy bender where, like, which, this book was wrote in 1978, I think. So, he got a big advance of like, I think it was like $9,000, goes through and is having this crazy bender where a bunch of women, bunch of men partying, drinking, doing drugs, like goes crazy. And then this guy comes up to him that's like works with him in his band and is like, hey, you need to go home, like, and get away from this stuff. Like, it's like crazy. You've spent way more money than you think you have. He ends up adding it all up and he's like super in debt over it. So he ends up going back to New York where his mom is and is going to try to stay with his mom for a while, kind of stuff. That's basically where I'm at now. Like, he's met up with a couple, or trying to meet up with a couple of his friends. He met a girl who you used to know. It seems like you've met several people in this book, and already there's been several people that have died. It's good. That's what I'm going to say right now. It's really good. So I'll let you know whenever I stop again, which will be, I'm done tonight reading, but I will start in the morning as I drive back home from where I'm at. And I should get quite a bit done, especially on audiobook, because I got to drive for 10 hours. So hopefully I can hammer some of this out and then talk to you, kind of see how much I've gotten read or listened to or whatever, whenever we come back. See you in just a bit. This book is unbelievable. I am on chapter 37. Chapter 37. It's been 8 hours now. I've absolutely blitzed through this book. 335 pages in 8 hours. Going really good. It's, I dare to say this might be the best book I've ever read as of right now. Obviously, things can change, and it might. What all can I say? Whenever I got done with y'all, I think I'd had an hour in. I'd read the first 50 pages. I think that's right. Something like that. Super impressed. Met a bunch of characters, obviously. Met Charlie and Sally and baby, what was it, Levon? I think so it was. Such a sad, sad story with them. But this book starts going crazy. Chapter 8. I'll just say that. Like chapter 8, he spends time, like I think it may be the whole chapter, where he just literally starts it off and it's explaining how everybody dies from the virus. Like I'm talking like it goes in like it's so crazy because he's like, okay, so and so is eating at a diner, and someone sneezes, which infects the waitress and the two people that are beside him on the in the rows next to him in the other booth, and they die within like 2 days or something. I mean, it's crazy. You meet so many people in this story. I mean, I was very very concerned whenever he starts throwing out all these names. I'm like, I'm never going to be able to keep up with all this stuff. And then you realize, oh wait, half of them don't last. I don't know, 2 paragraphs, and they're dead. You move on to another. But there is a couple I think that may go through for a lot of it, which is like this guy named Larry Underwood who's a singer, has a hit song. Things go crazy with him. Like he ends up getting this advance, which you can think it's like this book was written in like '78, and then he redid it in '90. But like this guy's got like a top 20 hit on the charts, and he got like a $9,000 advance, and then proceeds to throw a party that cost him like 15 grand. So his friend sends him off like, you need to go home, buddy. Like, you've got to get out of this mess, be done with these people. So he goes back home, to his mom, ends up meeting a girl in New York. Like, he's on the West Coast when all this goes down, and he drives to the East Coast to his mom to see kind of like what's up with her. Nothing at the time when he gets there. Nobody in New York has got anything yet, but things quickly change. Another guy is a guy named Nick. He is a deaf and a mute, so he basically communicates by writing and stuff. Somehow gets into a fight in a bar. 4 people like try to beat him up. They all get arrested. Proceed to go into this. They go into jail. He ends up somehow becoming friends with the sheriff. Sheriff lets him out and helps him. Sheriff ends up getting sick. He dies. And then basically Nick gets to kind of choose whether or not to let these guys go. Things go down. We'll just say one of them he lets out. And then he ends up nearly killing Nick after he does, even though they all get sick and they all die. The thing that gets me about this is just the way the world is slowly falling apart in this book is just so wild to me. Like I say slowly, but yet it's happening so fast. Like it basically spans across the US in a matter of days. And people are just dying left and right. Let's see what else. Military trying to hide everything. Like it's so bad that people are broadcasting out from like their radio stations, and the military's going to get them and basically kills them on the spot if they don't shut everything down. Another person you meet is Franny. She's like 22 years old and is having a baby out of wedlock, and her mom is not pleased at all. Like she's got a pretty crazy backstory in general, just by like her mom is like super nuts, in my opinion. Like has this special room in her house that no one's allowed to go to. I don't know. It's so weird. Anyways, it's a whole story, and like her boyfriend halfway wants to marry her, and she's just not sure about it. So it's like, what do you do? Like, and then her parents end up getting sick and they die. And another guy named Stu, he's in the book too. He gets basically whenever the first group, like where Charlie and Sally, they drive at the very beginning of the book, drive into this gas station where they're all dead, basically. Well, I mean, Charlie barely lives to get there, and then he dies like on the ground whenever they pull him out of the truck because um, Sally and baby Levon are dead in the car with him. And anyway, so Stu gets arrested, or not arrested, but they take him in to do tests and stuff because the other people they end up dying. He's still alive. So it's like certain people are not getting affected. Like even like all these people, most of these people that I mentioned have no symptoms or anything. So everyone's like, okay, how is this possible? When everyone else is dead in a matter of basically hours or days. I mean, like they get super sick, got a real bad runny nose, got a high temperature, start coughing up stuff. They go to bed, most of them, take some Tylenol, wake up, feel a lot better, and then boom, like within like 8 hours, they're dead. I mean, they just completely flip. People are having like crazy dreams and stuff, and they're wanting to know like what's the deal. I'm trying to think of the guys. The Dark Man, I think, is what he's called. Like they're having dreams of, I don't know. Like it's so weird. So there's some kind, and there's this one guy. I think it's Randall Flagg is what he's called. He has like powers apparently, where like he can like levitate. And I think he's the Dark Man. Is he like the devil or a demon or something? Because he's I don't know. I'm kind of confused. Like I think he might be a bad guy. Then there's another guy named Lloyd. He tries running. Okay, so him and another guy try to rob a store because they steal like a cop car, try to rob a store, and his buddy kills a couple of people. And then when they think they're about to escape, he gets shot in the face. He dies. Then Lloyd walks out, and these cops are coming in, and he's like, "Oh, there's a crazy guy inside that's killing a bunch of people. I'm getting out of here. I can't stay here." And tries to get to his car to escape the police, and they're like, "No, buddy." And they take him in. They basically tell him, like, "Look, like you're going on trial. You're going to get the death penalty. You're not getting out of this." So he's basically trying to wait until he gets the death penalty and then how long he has left to live. But in the meantime, where I'm at in the story now, everyone's dead and no one's coming to get him. Like he's somehow killed a rat and he's just holding it, hoping to have enough food for someone to come back and let him out of prison or out of the jail. Everyone's dead around him and he's the only one alive and he's not sick. Wow. And this is in the first, like I said, 300 and where am I at? 350 pages? 335 pages. 36 chapters done, 78. So I've got 51 more, 41 more. I can't even count. Book's crazy. I'm so curious to see where this goes. There's so much that's happened so fast. And another thing, real quick, Stephen King can write a person better than anyone I've read, down to little details on how he describes things. It just blows my mind how good he is at writing just a modern day person, their feelings, their thoughts, just everything about it. Like it's so wild. I am loving this book so far. Now I've got a long ways to go, of course, and I've got 16 hours to do it in. So this is going to be tight. I don't know if I'll finish, but I am trying my hardest. So, let you know whenever I get to the next stopping point. So, let's continue on. Okay, folks, here's where we're at right here. I'm absolutely, maybe slowing down a little. I'm sorry I'm whispering, but family's asleep. It's really early. I'm fixing to leave for work. BookTube is where I'm at. This next section is going to be from July 5th through September 6th. So what I wanted to do right here while I got a chance before I leave for work and continue on back to chapter 38 where I was at, I think whenever I stopped recording the last time, it goes back to doing all this crazy trying to, he explains to you how like everybody dies again, just random people, you meet all these new characters and they're all dead like within, I don't know, 2 or 3 paragraphs again. Like kids, adults, people getting sick, people falling off of like a skate or a scooter or something. One of them, or no, it was a bike, broke a bone in their body, little kid did, and no one's around to help them. And it's tragic. It's crazy. But then it gets even nuttier than that. Like that was crazy. And then it goes to Lloyd, who is in jail cell. All right, he's in jail cell. He's ate all the food that there is. He tried to save up as much as he could. The guy that's in there with him, Trask, he's the one that got killed earlier. He ends up pulling him next to him. I mean, he killed a rat and then he's ate the rat. Like it's down to like bones. And he's like, okay, this leg's here, Trask leg's here, so I can eat it if I have to. Because he went through his food too much or too fast. He starts nibbling on his leg, and then all of a sudden he hears this guy. Or here's this person, anybody there? Anybody here? And he's like, yeah, I'm here. Help me out. Gets downstairs. The guy opens the door and it's Flag. And Flag basically is like, hey, I'll get you out of here and get you anything you want. need a little help, I'm just trying to help you out. You help me, I help you. And basically, Flag is the devil. And well, there ain't no basically, I'm pretty sure he is the devil. And I'm pretty positive Lloyd sells his soul to the devil to get out of the jail or to get out of the prison, jail, whatever, cell. I mean, it's crazy. Fast forward, read a little of that. It's nuts. He gets out. Then Nick meets this lady named Mother Abigail, and I'm pretty sure she's an angel. It's basically at the very end of book one right here. That's where I'm at. I don't even know what to think about it. I've heard this is basically the fight for good and evil. The end of book one, this whole book's wild, and excited to see what comes next because I know it's just going to get absolutely insane, and I'm here for it. So I've got, as I said, 750 pages left. 13 hours and I think it's 20 minutes. 42 chapters down, so this is going to be chapter 43 out of 78. 35 chapters to go. Gonna be close. I don't know if I'll be able to do it, but I'm trying. And all I can say is this book is nuts, and I love it. All right, keep reading. I'll catch you on the next side. I am officially 11 hours on the dot in, and I'm at page 500. Absolutely love it still. Meeting more characters. I was totally wrong about Mother Abigail. She's not an angel. It's almost like the Lord's on her side, if you could say. She's very old. She's like 108. Lots of other stuff has happened. Nick's found a friend. Absolutely loving it. Blowing my mind at all times. Like, this story is, it's so crazy on like aspect of how nobody wants to be alone, like in general. Like, we think we do, but when it comes down to like there's nobody else in the world and you literally think that you're alone, nobody wants that. Everybody, you think you might, you don't. You get lonely. You think you couldn't stand somebody or whatever, but that's not the case. You want that interaction with people. And a lot of times, like this, I mean, that's why there's so many people in here. Whenever they meet others, they just get so emotional, at the time. Another check-in. Got 11 hours left. I've read 500 pages. There's 650 to go, and I've spent 13 hours to do 500. So what am I going to do? It's going to be tough to finish on time, but I'm going to try my best. It's time to lock in, and I'll let you know when I get a whole lot further along. Page 608 is where I'm at. A little over halfway through, down to 11 hours left to go. I don't know if I'm going to finish. It's going to be something. Camera a little. There we go. I know I feel like I say it every time I'm filming something, but I mean, it's just crazy. We've got just so much going on. I mean, there's a struggle. I mean, finally seeing like good and evil getting, kind of shifting to where like I guess good people who are more like religious based followers of God are working their way to Mother Abigail's. You've got the others that are working their way to the Dark Man. They're both, one of them, let's say the Dark Man is in, I think, as of right now, he is in California, I think. But they're working their way to Vegas, which is kind of ironic, being that its nickname is Sin City. But they're working their way there. I've met the Trash Can Man, crazy, psychotic, shall I say. Then he has met up with the kid. The kid's absolutely just a psychopath as well. I mean, which would make sense, being that they're all working their way to the Dark Man. And then you've got the other side where Nick and another crew has made their way and found Mother Abigail, who I think I said in the last one that she might be an angel. I don't know. I'm still conflicted. Now I don't think she is. She's 108 years old. She's really old. All about the Lord, prays to him all the time. Everybody's having these visions. She basically, it's like not owns, but like if anyone goes through Nebraska, they start getting visions of her. Especially, I know the trash can man did. And basically, he was like, "You got to get me out of here." You know, he don't want no part of her. He wants to be with the dark man. It's something. It's definitely the battle of good and evil. I'm very, very curious on how this plays out. As I said, I thought Mother Abigail was an angel, and now I don't think she is, but maybe she is and she don't know it. I don't know because she's talked about it a bunch of times where she mentions her human self, which that don't technically mean anything, but like, she's even like questioned God on like, why have you let me still be alive when all these people in my family have died? He keeps telling her that, I'm keeping you around for something that's going to be important. Very interesting. Another thing I've noticed, nobody wants to be alone in this world. A lot of people talk about being by themselves for a little bit, and then after a while, it seems like nobody wants to be alone. You can think about it in real life, where if you think you're the only person alive in the world, who would want to live like completely alone, isolated? You can do anything you want, but you can't do it with anybody. That sounds awful. I love this book so much. It is slowly creeping up into my top 5 right now, and I think it's going to end. If it ain't going to end up being at the top, it's going to be right there at it. I just love how everybody in this book has their own personality, and it's so different than anybody else's, which is how we are, in real life. Like nobody's the same. Everybody's got their own motives, own agendas. Go through life and kind of see how it plays. King has done an unbelievable job at how he's done this so far. Just everybody is like nearly just by the way they talk. Like he's one of these so far in this book. To me, he's one of these authors. I'm like, if you're listening to it and you didn't know who it was, or if they didn't say who they were, you would know, just by the way they talk, who it is. I've got 11 hours. I've got, let's see, page 608, 1150, 550 pages to go. I don't know if I'm going to make this. I'm going to try my best. This is going to be really tight to see where it goes. But let's keep reading. Okay, we're back. 930 pages in, officially starting book 3. I am down to 2 hours and 19 minutes, and I've got 220 or 30 pages left, 152. Yeah, roughly 220 pages left. Oh my gosh, this book is insane. Everything's been going on. You've got Harold, who is plotting to kill Stu. Him and what's her name? Nadine Cross. They're both now working, not really working, but kind of working for the Dark Man. Kojak the dog, who was in the book earlier, that Glenn left because they had to get on motorcycles to ride in Nebraska to meet up with Mother Abigail, found his way back. You get a perspective of the dog, of Kojak, on how he made his way, fighting off some wolves from the Dark Man as well. Randall Flagg, trying to do everything. I wonder if this dog's going to come into the picture later on in the story. Very curious. Why would you have him come back and then nothing happens? don't know. I mean, this whole book has just this underbelly of just devastation and destruction, and how do you make everything come back to life? They're starting a new government now. They're doing votes on who's going to be in the government. There's like, I think there's 7 of them, or well, there was. There's an explosion that happens. Not going to give that one away. That was pretty dang crazy on how that goes down. Kills a few main characters. I was rather shocked, to say the least. But the lead up to it, it's almost like, oh my gosh, are all the main characters going to die? No, thank goodness. One of the crazy characters, like, okay, they send like 3 of them off to be spies, infiltrate the Dark Man's Legion or whatever. Speaking of the Dark Man, kind of weird, but like, oh, who was it? I think it was either Stu or Larry one was talking about how they halfway think Jim Morrison, who from the who died in a plane crash overseas, might be the Dark Man, Randall Flagg. Oh, it's Stu. That's right. Yes, it is Stu. Because he thinks he was pumping gas and seen him and talked to him back years ago. I mean, it's just, I don't know. He said this voice reminds him of him, which is kind of eerie. So is Randall Flagg portraying Jim Morrison? I mean, is that possible? I I don't know. I mean, it's basically like you've got what is Mother Abigail calling the nymph of the devil is basically what he is, and then I guess maybe God has sent Mother Abigail here, even though she's 108, just biding her time. We just finished book 2, and things happen with Mother Abigail, and she explains some stuff to the people, and they set off. Which before that, sorry, I messed up one part. The 3 different people they go to send off to spy on the Dark Man and his minions. Let's see, who is it? One of them's the judge. The other one's Tom, who is not smart. We'll say that. I don't think I'm allowed to say the R word on here. Don't really know, but that's what they call him in the book. But he's not all there, and they hypnotize him to get him to go over there, and then at a certain time he has to come back. One of them, of the 3, the other one's a woman. I can't remember her name right now. I think it says in there that they never see her again, so I'm assuming she doesn't make it. But nothing's been said about the judge and Tom, so I don't know what's going to happen with them. And right at the end of book 2, the main group, I think there's 5 of them, or I know there's 5 main ones that are left. It was 7. A couple of them got killed. They take off to go after him. So there is, like I said, 220 pages left. I guess you'd say all hell's about to break loose. Dare I say? I don't know. I feel like these last 200 plus pages are going to be absolutely crazy. I can't wait to read this right now, without question, top 3 best books I've ever read. The crazy thing about this is it's just like the little mundane things that King's so good at writing in this book. It's okay, so they're creating the government again, and then he talks about, like, cooking food, how they cook the food, and then everything they drink is warm because there's no electricity. Even washing clothes, they're having to go back to old times where they're using a scrub pan and scrubbing the clothes clean and doing all that, and they're learning, and they're building, the society is slowly building up to where it started at the beginning. I guess there was like 6 or 8 of them that started with Mother Abigail. And by the time into book 2, they've got just over 1,000 people. It hasn't been on the Dark Man in a while. I mean, even back before that, you had Trash Can Man who come on, who's absolutely nut. All that he's getting indicted into all this stuff with the Dark Man and the crew, and I think he's the one that's going to be kind of leading an army part of it, kind of what it sounds like. So I don't know. This book is incredible. That's all I can say. I've got 2 hours and 20 minutes left. I've got 220 pages. Don't know if I'm going to finish it, but it's going to come down to the wire. But when I come back to y'all for the last time, I will let you know if I go over and how long I go over. Until then, we're going to bang this sucker out. I'll probably be on the road when I finish this, potentially, so we're going to see you shortly as we finish it up. All right, folks, it is completed. The stand is done. The question is, did I make it in time? Did I do the 24-hour, 1,000 page challenge? Well, time is up. I made it to chapter 69. I was close. Very, very close. 1,027 pages. So, does that count as a win? Did I do the 1,000 pages in 24 hours? Yes. Did I finish the book? No. I did finish the book, but not in 24 hours. So this is how long it took for me to completely finish. That is correct. 3 hours, 20 something minutes. I was close, but in all, it took me roughly 27 and a half hours to finish the stand. Talk about it. This is a top 3 book of all time, probably is what I would say. I can understand where some people say that it's kind of bloated, which he actually admits to, like in the beginning before you even start. I'm curious where the 500 extra pages were, or it's 4 or 500 extra. It's 150,000 words. I don't know, but it's so good. That's the thing. A lot of this book is just like obviously a ton of death in the beginning where everybody dies from this flu, except for just a very small amount of people, and then just them rebuilding just everything. Like I'm talking governments trying to get relationships back together. I mean, you're trying to like there's like no kids have being born until later on in the book, trying to get electricity back on and how long that takes, and just like the normal day-to-day stuff, like, and then this whole underbelly, as I'd said before, of just this constant nagging of like evil just right under the surface. The guy, the dark man, Randall Flagg, is coming for you. He's gonna get you, and you're just waiting, like when's it going to happen? What's going to go down with it? And everything is building up. And then you have the final book. I mean, the whole middle of the book, which is by far the longest section, is just all of that, just constant, like this day to day task and stuff, which is so good. Like you would think, who cares about no, it's just like just a little bit more, just a little bit more. I need just a little bit more. And you keep getting it and you keep getting it. And King is just killing it. And then you get to the final book 3 where everything's starting to go down. And holy crap, does everything go down? You had 3 people that got sent off on a spy mission, 2 die, 1 survives. Won't give that one away who it is. So good how they decide to do it, on one of them, especially the one person that goes to Randall Flagg, and things happen with them. That gets absolutely nuts. Let me just say, if you ain't into like sexual stuff and all that, there is a few things in this book that gets pretty crazy on probably 3 or 4 times, I guess. Then just the power that he has. And then you've got other people that have to trek across the whole, basically feels like the whole US to get to where they're trying to get to. And then there's things that happen there. Trash can man, holy smokes, absolutely nutso. Mother Abigail, crazy. I mean, she's not crazy, of course. I mean, she's with the Lord, God is on her side. And she tells a few people special a few things that have to be done, we'll just say. And then it all comes to a head, things happen. And that's probably 5 chapters before like the whole book ends. And then the last is kind of like I don't know, like returning home type deal. And what's up with that, and how all that goes, which is like crazy. You think it's almost like every main character dies. They do not giving that away, of course. Then you have this one journey, you're like, oh, this person's absolutely dead multiple times and somehow survives. And then the ending. the final ending, it'll get a little hair standing up on your arms because, you know, some things you just can't kill. It's so good. This book is without question one of my top three favorites. This is only my second Stephen King. It's by far the best. I mean, it's not even close. Billy Summers was good. Don't get me wrong. That's the one book I've read of King. Now I've completed The Stand. And the crazy thing is, I'm not a rereader, period. I don't care about it. I dang near consider it. It's that good. I realize, absolutely huge book, 1,150 pages. Dadgum, it's good. I don't know. I might even consider it the best book I've ever read. I mean, I've got to keep thinking about it because I just don't know. I'm at a loss, but at bare minimum, top three. Extremely, extremely well written. Even if a lot of people think it's bloated, it's extremely good. Do not miss reading this book. And you can skip some of the sections, like I said, but a lot of the sexual content and stuff, it can be skipped. It's like a page or two long, and you move on. So you don't have to read any of it. Man, what else to say? I don't know. Do yourself a favor and read this book because it's so good. So good. But that's all I have. This was amazing read. I hope you read it. Let me know if you have read it. Let me know what you think. If you haven't, please do so. Subscribe to the channel if you would. Leave a like on the video. Comment. What Stephen King book should I read next? I've got actually I already know one that I'm reading next, but you can tell me. This is all leading up to something that's happening in January. Let's just say that. But if you would, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, leave a comment, and God bless.